This is literally the rarest Budgie mutation I know of. When it comes to Budgie appearance, probably the Chimera, also known as Half-Sider, is the rarest Budgie you could find. But Chimera Budgie is not considered a mutation as much as it is a birth defect. In other words, Blackface, which is the mutation we are going to cover in this video, is an actual Budgie mutation that almost went extinct. But thanks to some very knowledgeable breeders, they saved this mutation from going extinct, which we will explain now. So, Blackface Budgie could be bred like any other mutation. But when it comes to Half-Siders, you cannot breed this mutation. You can only hope for some sort of defect in the embryonic development to occur, which has a very low probability, and you can never breed a Chimera Budgie on purpose. If you want to learn more about chimeras, you can go and check the video about that bird. I'll keep a link in the description for that video. Which means I stand correct. Blackface Budgie is the rarest one as of today. Let's learn everything about it. This is how I discovered that this mutation is actually not extinct. From the video on rare and fake Budgie mutations, thanks to one of the viewers, which I honestly cannot spell his name, so I'm not gonna even try, but I really appreciate him for telling me about someone from the Netherlands who has bred the Blackface mutation. I was so excited and searched for that incredible person and had a very long and interesting conversation with him. His name is Johan Kortenray from the Netherlands, which I will keep links for his Facebook and Instagram in the description below. He and his friend Bernd from Germany have been breeding birds for about 20 years. They came across that breeder who almost made this variety disappear. He told me that breeder not only lacks the knowledge of how breeding works and almost made this mutation extinct, but he was also inbreeding these budgies, which means he was breeding related members, and so it was really ineffective and we could have easily lost this variety. He always had few Blackface budgies, but with fertility problems, so he couldn't establish them correctly like it should be. So what they did? They purchased these Blackface budgies for a very expensive price from him. And all they had is faith, and hopefully with their experience they could bring this mutation back to life. They outcrossed these budgies for the upcoming 2 years after they bought them. And they did that all to clean different lines from all countries to be sure they couldn't be related. And they succeeded. They have been breeding this mutation for about 5 years. And they have successfully brought it back to life by breeding with non-related budgies, which I can imagine how difficult this could be to breed a mutation you barely know anything about. But thanks to them, they did it, and now we can learn all about it. Let's start from the appearance of this mutation. The cere, beak, eyes, and everything is like the normal mutation. What differentiates this mutation from the normal mutation? The feet are a bit darker, and the black linings or bars are across the whole budgie's body. You see, even older budgies still have these bars on the forehead, and not only that, actually on their face too. Which, as you can imagine, this is where the name Blackface came from. So now you might be thinking, well, one of the main traits we can tell if a budgie is younger than 4 months old is by looking at the bars, which they lose after their first molt. So what about the Blackface budgie mutation? Actually, this is one of the easiest ways to tell how old your budgie is. You can check the video about how old is your budgie if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'll keep a link in the description. However, in this mutation, they do lose the black lines when they first molt, but not the forehead or face bars. Rather, the black bars on their chest and abdominal area. You see, when they get older and they molt, You can still see some black linings on their chest, but it is just a shade, not as clear as young Budgies. So that's what makes it really easy to tell if the Blackface Budgie is young or older one. Johan Kortenray and Bernd Keuthen. After 5 years of breeding this mutation, now they know it is 100% a recessive mutation. So let's have a look at the Punnett square and see how to breed this lovely and rare mutation, which I really believe in Johan and his friend Bernd, that soon this mutation will not be rare and hopefully a lot of people can land some Blackface Budgies. If you breed a Blackface Budgie with normal Budgie, none of the offspring will be Blackface, but all of them will be carriers of that mutation. If you breed a Blackface Budgie with a carrier, then 50% will be Blackface Budgies and 50% only carriers. If you breed 2 carrier Budgies of that mutation, then 25% of the offspring will express the mutation. And finally, if you breed 2 Blackface Budgies, then all of the offspring will be Blackface Budgies, which is still very hard to do since this mutation is still rare. So it is very difficult to find 2 unrelated Blackface Budgies. If you find yourself lost in these Punnett squares, I'll keep a link in the description about how to use the Punnett square. And that's it. This is the rarest Budgie mutation, and I really hope that the next video I make about this mutation will be about how common this mutation has become, and we all know who to thank for that. Johan Kortenray and Bernd Keuthen. For more about Budgies, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when the next video is up.